Hello everyone, it's good to be here with you today. I have some great tips to share with you regarding small studio spaces, organization, and just working more efficiently. Ever since I've begun painting, I've always had to work in a small studio or a contained area. My first space was in a basement, and now I've moved into this cramped 500 square foot apartment with very little room to create any kind of art. I know there are many out there in my exact situation that either they have kids or they just work long hours, or they just have a small living space, which makes it pretty difficult to dedicate an entire room as a studio. It's definitely difficult creating in such a small space. So let's get into some ways that will help you overcome the obstacle of creating in a miniature studio. I think it's important to physically create a space or a zone that you can call your studio. This has helped me stay organized, and it keeps all of my art supplies in one area rather than being scattered throughout the rest of the house. It also helps with keeping random items like books, silverware, and just whatever else from being in my studio. So everything has its own place, and I'm able to work in peace without searching for things or constantly moving everything around. And finally, it allows me to separate my art and work from the rest of my life. This is one of the most important concepts when it comes to small studios and creating in a small space, and honestly, it took me a while to actually implement this concept, but once I did, it just changed everything. This shelving unit is probably the best investment I've made when it comes to my studio. Each shelf serves a purpose, and I've organized my supplies and materials in an intuitive and useful arrangement. I also use the walls around my studio and the rest of my living space to hang my paintings, and this creates a lot of storage area around the floor. I use a cheap set of plastic drawers to store my paints, rags, and other materials as well. So this is a tough one for most artists, even for myself. It's quite easy to get carried away with all the useful and interesting art supplies nowadays. But really, I try to only keep items if I find them useful for what I'm creating. Anything else just gets thrown out or I give it away. The best way to determine if something is useful or not is to look for items that you haven't used in over a year or longer. And when you find these items, it's probably better to just throw them out or put them in storage and make space for materials that you do use on a daily basis or more often. I know that every artist is different, but I found for me that mess creates stress. I find it really difficult to focus on creating or any kind of work when everything is messy and dirty. So usually after I'm done creating a painting, I'll clean my brushes and palette if necessary, and I'll clean up my studio a little bit so that during the day I'm able to focus, I can relax, I'm not stressed out. And also it makes it a lot easier for me to go and create. I walk over to my studio and everything is clean, and I'm able to just focus on creating instead of cleaning up the mess from the last time. So I hope you enjoyed those tips, and I hope you find them useful. If you feel that I missed something, just post comments down below and share with everyone so we can grow and learn from each other. And I thank you for watching. Peace.